From The Australian, here's what's on the front. I'm Claire Harvey. It's Tuesday, October 22. Everyone agrees it's better for elderly Australians to be cared for at home, but wait times have blown out, with families waiting 9 months to access government support. 3 years ago, it was between 30 and 90 days. An outburst by firebrand Senator Lidia Thorpe has injected some energy into an otherwise dull Australian tour by King Charles and Queen Camilla. It's the King's first visit since becoming monarch, and it's got everyone asking, where's the razzle-dazzle gone? When Queen Elizabeth II visited Australia for the first time in 1954, she opened a session of Parliament in Canberra.
It was a day that long will be remembered by the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives.
She was 27 years old and drop-dead gorgeous. She wore a floor-length cap-sleeved white ball gown.
But all Australia was eager for a sight of this young woman. Here too, it was the first time that the reigning sovereign had landed on Australia's shores.
Satin gloves, a royal blue sash, a diamond tiara, and earrings the size of gobstoppers. By her side was husband Philip in his white navy dress uniform, including a full chest of medals and a sword.
All children, even if they can't go up to London, still like to see a queen.
They were the most glamorous thing ever to hit Australia. In 1988, when the Queen opened the new Parliament House just a little way up the hill, the Queen was resplendent in head-to-toe hot pink and a sensational hat. You don't have to be a monarchist to wonder where the glamour's gone. And that's a deliberate choice by the King, partly because he's 75 and going through cancer treatment, but also because Charles has spent the past decade preparing to relaunch the monarchy in his own image. Less sparkle, more good works. They call it the slimmed-down monarchy. The nieces, nephews and cousins have been cast off to pay their own way, and Charles has shrunk the family of working royals to his own family: William, Catherine, Camilla, himself, and a few hard-working outliers like Princess Anne. This is a man who still wears the same clothes he wore in his 20s, and on occasion his father Prince Philip's old coats, which have been carefully patched and repaired. He reportedly eats half an avocado for lunch every day. Not half an avocado on top of something else, just half an avocado. It's all a bit flat. Thank goodness then for Lidia Thorpe. The senator gave a gift to the reporters covering the royal tour inside Parliament on Monday, marching towards the stage and screaming obscenities at the King.
She was wearing a possum or kangaroo skin coat, so she cut quite a striking figure amongst the crowd of ministers and military officials and such.
Rhiannon Down is a reporter in The Australian's Canberra bureau.
And then she was just pushed out of the hall by security officials, and then there was a sort of stunned silence. And then the string quartet struck up again and everyone just went back to mingling.
In fact, while it was going on, he seemed to me to be just continuing to chat to Anthony Albanese. He's quite good at not looking like he's bothered at all, isn't he?
Yes, I did wonder what Anthony Albanese would have said to him. I would have loved to have known. And as well, I saw Queen Camilla sort of give Jodie Hayden, Anthony Albanese's fiancée, they sort of leant over to each other and had a little quiet word. So I'd love to know what they said to each other, but we can only imagine.
Outside the War Memorial, she'd actually provided the only other bit of drama in Canberra, Rhiannon.
She's quite a colourful character. I mean, there's not that many senators who can ever brag to have gotten into a fight outside a strip club somewhere in Melbourne at 3 a.m.
All I want to say to the black brothers there, and anyone that we're fighting, any black man that stands with a white little like that, you can all get too.
I mean, she was a very strong advocate in the Black sovereign movement during the Voice referendum, where she was just very anti the Voice. She saw it as an admission of colonial acceptance, which is something she rails against. She thinks that sovereignty was never ceded by Indigenous people. Lidia Thorpe never really misses an opportunity to make a stand when she sees a platform with plenty of cameras and plenty of media around. She had a very unusual figure. About 2 years ago, she was attempting to storm the stage at an anti-trans women's rights rally outside Parliament House, and she was wearing these incredible heels and a skirt and sort of tripped over.
And this country should be ashamed that they even let people like this into this country. Now, I went to tell her that thing, that they are not welcome here.
She also made headlines when at Mardi Gras she lay down on the ground and tried to block the float, also making one of her political stands. So she's certainly not afraid to get out there physically and take a stand for what she believes in.
Coming up, how the King steered the day to be about his chosen topic. You can check out all our analysis and reporting of the royal tour at theaustralian.com.au. Plus all the rest of the best journalism from around Australia and the world. Before the interruption, Charles had been making a speech that touched on one of the philosophies that's shaped his outlook, the future of our planet. Charles is a committed environmentalist, and his remarks would have touched the heart of even avowed Republican Anthony Albanese. Charles segued into it by talking about all the times in his many visits he's met the survivors of bushfires, floods and cyclones.
The regular roll of unprecedented events is an unmistakable sign of climate change, to which Australia is so particularly vulnerable.
And where his mother scrupulously avoided expressing anything like a political view during her 7 decades on the throne, Charles weighed in to a topic that's deeply partisan here in Australia.
This is why Australia's international leadership on global initiatives to protect our climate and biodiversity is of such absolute and critical importance. Indeed, the world's first Global Nature Positive Summit was held in Sydney in the past fortnight.
Nature Positive is what Labor called a series of reforms shepherded by Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek and opposed by the Coalition and business, including tougher regulation that takes environmental impact into consideration on developments, a new regulatory authority, and what's called a climate trigger that would see projects assessed on their emissions impact.
Australia has all the natural ingredients to create a more sustainable, regenerative way of living. By harnessing the power with which nature has endowed the nation, whether it be wind or its famous sunshine, Australia is tracking the path towards a better and safer future. It is in all our interests to be good stewards of the world and good ancestors to those who come after us, because we are all connected, both as a global community and with all that sustains life. That is the timeless wisdom of Indigenous people throughout the entire world, from which each one of us can benefit.
Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe. It's cheaper than a king's lunch. Check us out at theaustralian.com.au.